You feel everything, the tension, the unspoken anger, the sadness no one else notices. That sensitivity is your greatest gift, but it's also the reason negative people are drawn to you. They sense your light, your willingness to listen, and your ability to carry weight that isn't yours. And if you're not careful, their chaos doesn't just touch you, it becomes part of you. As a Sigma empath, you can't stop feeling, but you can learn to protect your heart. Protecting it doesn't mean shutting down or becoming cold. It means setting boundaries that keep your empathy intact while keeping their toxicity out. Because the truth is, if you don't protect yourself, the very gift that makes you rare is the same gift that will leave you drained. You recognize energy before words. As a Sigma empath, you don't need someone to explain who they are. You feel it before they open their mouth. The shift in the room, the heaviness in the air, the way their presence unsettles your peace. Your body notices it instantly. Negative people try to hide behind polite words or fake smiles, but you catch the subtle energy that slips through. It's not about paranoia, it's awareness. Your sensitivity gives you a radar most people don't have, and the truth is, when you learn to trust that instinct, you save yourself from a lot of damage. Because the moment you sense that darkness, you already know what your mind will confirm later. Recognizing energy before words is what allows you to protect your heart. You don't need to wait for the mask to fall, because you've already seen through it. You learn to say no without guilt. For most of your life, saying no felt almost impossible. As an empath, you've been conditioned to believe that refusing someone means letting them down, betraying your nature, or proving you're not as kind as they thought you were. But protecting your heart means learning that no is not cruelty, it's clarity. Every time you say yes when you really mean no, you hand over a piece of your peace. And negative people know how to use that against you. They push your limits, test your patience, and take until you're drained. The shift comes when you realize that saying no doesn't mean you're cold. It means you're strong enough to protect your energy. You're not shutting people out. You're choosing who truly deserves your presence. And when you stop carrying guilt for protecting yourself, you finally step into the freedom of giving without resentment and caring without being consumed. You stop absorbing what isn't yours. One of the hardest lessons as an empath is realizing that just because you feel someone's emotions doesn't mean you have to carry them. For most of your life, you probably absorbed other people's stress, sadness, or anger until it felt like it was your own. Negative people rely on this. They offload their darkness onto you because they know you'll hold it. But protecting your heart means learning to draw that line. You can recognize what someone is going through without letting it take root inside of you. You can understand their pain, but you don't have to live in it. This doesn't make you less compassionate, it makes you stronger because you're no longer sacrificing your balance for someone else's chaos. The moment you stop absorbing what isn't yours, you discover that you can care deeply without collapsing, and that your empathy works best when it doesn't destroy you in the process. You build boundaries that keep you strong. For so long, you may have believed that love meant giving endlessly, no matter how much it cost you. But as a Sigma empath, you eventually realize that without boundaries, your empathy becomes a weapon that others can use against you. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out, they're about protecting the parts of you that make you whole. Distance isn't rejection, it's self-respect. It's the quiet decision to choose peace over chaos, to protect your energy from people who drain it, and to stay grounded in who you are instead of being pulled into who they want you to be. Negative people hate boundaries because it means they can't control you anymore, but for you, boundaries are freedom. They remind you that your heart is valuable, your time is sacred, and your energy is not up for negotiation. That's how you stay strong while still caring deeply. You give, but never at the expense of yourself. You choose environments that support your peace. There comes a point when you stop forcing yourself into places where your energy never feels safe. As a Sigma empath, you've likely spent years sitting in rooms that drained you, staying in friendships that pulled you down, or giving time to people who only left you empty. Protecting your heart means no longer tolerating those environments. You start to notice how your body reacts in different spaces, where you feel calm, where you feel tense, where you feel like you can breathe. and then you choose accordingly. You understand that peace isn't something you stumble into, it's something you create by surrounding yourself with the right energy. That might mean fewer people, quieter spaces, or new habits that recharge you instead of depleting you. And the moment you stop apologizing for choosing peace over chaos, your entire life begins to feel lighter, clearer, and more aligned with who you really are. You guard your time like it's sacred. One of the most powerful shifts you make as a Sigma empath is realizing that not everyone deserves access to you. Your time, your attention, and your empathy are sacred resources, but for years you may have given them to anyone who asked, even to people who only took without giving back. Negative people thrive on that kind of access because it keeps you available for their chaos. But the moment you start guarding your time, everything changes. You stop answering every message, stop saying yes to every request, and stop letting people who drain you occupy your mental and emotional space. Instead, you give your time to what recharges you, the relationships, environments, and habits that honor your peace. And when someone tries to make you feel guilty for pulling back, you remind yourself protecting your time isn't selfish. It's how you keep your heart strong enough to keep giving where it truly matters. You detach with compassion. Protecting your heart doesn't mean you become bitter or filled with hate. It means you learn to let go without carrying their darkness with you. As a Sigma empath, you understand that resentment is just another way of keeping their energy alive inside you, and you refuse to give them that power. When someone shows you who they are, you accept it, but you don't waste years trying to change them or punish them. You step back, you detach, and you release them with quiet compassion. This doesn't mean you excuse their behavior. It means you won't let their negativity define you. You walk away lighter, not heavier. And in that release, you remind yourself that true strength isn't in holding on tighter. It's in letting go fully without dragging their chaos into your future. You transform negativity into strength. Every toxic encounter you've endured could have broken you, but instead, it shaped you into someone stronger and wiser. As a Sigma empath, you don't stay stuck in bitterness. You turn pain into clarity. Every lie, every manipulation, every draining relationship has taught you something about yourself and the world. You've learned where your boundaries need to be, what energy you'll never allow again, and how valuable your peace really is. That transformation is what makes you resilient. Negative people expect you to crumble under the weight of their chaos, but instead you rise above it, carrying only the lessons, never the poison. And with each experience, you become harder to break, harder to fool, and harder to drain. Your empathy doesn't weaken you, it refines you until even negativity becomes fuel for your growth. Protecting your heart doesn't mean you stop being the caring, intuitive person you are. It means you finally learn how to love yourself with the same depth you've always given to others. Every boundary you set, every no you honor, every step you take toward peace is proof that your empathy is evolving into strength. You're not just surviving negativity, you're transforming it into wisdom that will protect you for a lifetime. If this spoke to you, subscribe and come back here whenever you need a reminder that your sensitivity is not a weakness. It's your greatest power. And let me leave you with this question. Do you see your empathy as something to protect or as something that protects you?